And we are back with another Black and No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Realverse World. And I'm right here with my fucking PIC, also known as partner in crime, also known as Pig in Cash.
Pig in Cash.
That's nice. My Pig in Cash right there. David 𝐁.
What's happening?
It's a morning roast bonus episode. Shout out to all the Patreon people that are listening to this shit.
What's we fucking up, love Patreon y'all. Squad?
We fucking love y'all. Discord be booming. I love that shit. So thank you guys for being involved. And we're almost at 100 patrons. We're at 91. So as long as no one leaves, and as long as 9 more people join,
then you get to watch me smoke this motherfucker in a 100-meter dash.
We're doing the 100-yard dash. 100 meters is mad far, right?
No, meter.
Is that 100 yard?
100 yards is football, but in track, it's 100 meter.
Whatever, bruh. I didn't do track.
I know is Ben somehow thinks he can beat me, which is funny to me.
Yeah, you haven't seen my fucking python legs I have, dog. I'm fast as shit. 100-yard dash, and then whoever loses has to stand in a Hollywood dumpster for 5 minutes and report the weather with an umbrella over their head while the other person films it from very far away. And it's gonna be funny as fuck. So 100, it doesn't matter to you guys because you guys are already in here, but it is gonna be a nice treat. Today we wanted to talk about the subject, or the title is 6 degrees of separation, because it's an interesting topic. It's an interesting theory about how somehow someone that you're interested in working with or connecting to, you're somehow connected to them. Like, it's fucking actually insane when you really sit down and think about this person knows this person that knows that person. If you really, really want to get a hold of whoever, it's possible, which we will get to right after this beautiful intro that we made. Dave, when do you want to get into the intro?
Right motherfucking now.
Welcome to the morning roast, a place where you will get the most info from a deep dive into the topics that really need life, with your host Ben and Dave, coming to you live today. Grab your cup of joe and take some fucking notes, you bitch. And we're back. That was fun. I love the intro. Even the music that's playing under our voice right now as it rings out into a silent abyss is fantastic. And we're happy to be here with you guys. Thanks again for joining us on Patreon. But 6 degrees of separation, what does it mean? I first heard about it because my friend Andrew made a joke about how we're all connected to Kevin Bacon somehow. The actor Kevin Bacon, famously known for his role in Tremors, which fucking scared the shit out of me in the 90s. So Kevin Bacon, I just texted Andrew because I really wanted to call him and have him explain. I'm going to even text him right now. I wanted him to explain the 6 degrees of separation to Kevin Bacon because it's funny, and I asked him, didn't you tell me about the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon shit? And he goes, yep.
Just ignore the call though.
Yeah, so I don't know. But anyway, the idea is that we're all somehow connected to Kevin Bacon. But more so, which is actually true, because when my friend Taylor got injured in Afghanistan and was recovering in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, he got a fucking CD in the mail, and we opened it up, and it was from the Bacon Brothers. And we were like, what the hell is this? And I found out that Kevin Bacon and his brother have a band called the Bacon Brothers, and they wrote, "To Taylor, hope you enjoy the music." And I was like, what a weird way to like flex your shit on a wounded warrior. But got Kevin Bacon's address and his phone number. So I am now connected to Kevin Bacon through Taylor. See how that works?
Wow. And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. You can go into it.
So that's funny though. But I think this is tight, and I think the way I want to spin it is in this way, and I'll say it from my experience. So like, when I first started, I wanted to be in video, right? You want to work with these artists, you want to work with these brands, you want to work with all these people. And I'm living in Texas, in San Antonio, at my parents' house. And I'm thinking like, okay, somehow this is going to work, but I don't know how the fuck this is going to happen. Like, how am I ever going to do this from here, right? And then you start working with people, and then you start realizing the power of networking and the power of like recommendations and stuff. And that's where this comes into play. So like, to recap, 6 degrees of separation is the idea that like, okay, every person you know has a friend, like has their own network, and that exponentially grows. And the theory is, but by 6 people or less, you could reach anyone, right? So, and I remember when I first got the internship with Ben, I remember thinking like, holy shit, now, if I really fucking wanted to, like if there was some incredible opportunity, I could talk to Schoolboy Q.
Right.
Like at that, automatically, because I knew one person, right? Of like, I want to talk to this person. I realized like all of a sudden that whole avenue just opened for me. And that was the power of like, wow, this is crazy, right? And I think where this plays in terms of that is I started realizing, okay, like I wanted to shoot for these, like we always talk about music, but I'm just gonna say this for once. Like you want to work for this person, right? But you have no idea how you're gonna get there, but you don't realize that there's like a whole lower network that you might overlook when taking jobs that could get you there easily. Right. So like you're like, oh, I don't want to shoot for this artist, right? But if you do your research, that artist may work at a management company who also manages this huge artist that you want to work with.
Right.
And working with that one person can get you there real fast, just by the power of recommendation. And so like everything you want to achieve is within your ability. And that's why the power of relationships is so important, to make your relationships, because every relationship you make opens up an entire fucking vortex of other people that you could possibly work with. And it's incredible, like when you continue to build relationships and you continue to do good work and like meet other people, how all these doors just start opening left and right, because there's more possibilities that are increasing. And I was
gonna say an example too is like right now I'm looking to just find an extra shooter in New York for this event that's being thrown at Casey Neistat's 368, and we just need a shooter, last minute, budgets, whatever. Need someone for 2 days for at least like 3 or 4 hours. And I like put it out there and hitting some people, and Joey Badass, his videographer, hit me up yesterday to invite me to their show in New York or in LA. And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, he lives in New York. So I hit him like, yo, you know anyone that's dope and could shoot this shit? And he's like, oh, my roommate, and suggested it to me or whatever. And then he sent me his link, and the first video I clicked was a video that he recapped at 368 for another event. And it was fire. And I was like, oh shit, this is solid. This is exactly what I was looking for. Like you really don't know until you ask questions, or you kind of peek in and do your research, like who's connected to what and how that can affect you. Because that just solved my problem. You know what I mean?
100%.
But even like coming out here, when I remember it's the same thing with you, with me, with Q, like not that you're like trying to talk to Q right now.
It was just, I remember thinking that like,
it's possible.
That's crazy that all of a sudden happened.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden that was a possibility that if I said it, it would be some truth.
Right.
You know, versus not.
Well, like if we really, literally want to go to his house right now, we can go there.
Right.
Who is this? Epic fail.
Look who it is, bro.
Hobbs. He wants the content.
I'm sorry about that.
Our homie Hobby keeps trying to get all this fucking tour footage from us so he can make his reel or something.
Yeah.
God damn it. But when I moved out here, I remember having worked with Andrew, and first we're working in Chris Brown's doc, and coming from me playing music and being a creative and wanting to create content, I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. But when I first got in, I was like, holy shit. So somehow, like, what happens if I kill it on this project and Chris notices my talent, and then we become friends, and then there's something that I want in the future that I could ask him for, like, hey, could you be involved in an idea I have, a video idea, music, whatever it may be, or whatever, maybe it's looping in a producer or someone that I know that's talented that deserves to work with someone like Chris or whatever. And that was like my immediate thought. I'm like, holy shit. And I went through and I crushed my ass off and like just went ham on stuff, and then eventually become friends. I get his number and all this shit. Like, and it opens up that door. Now it is possible. Now I literally can do that shit. Right. And that was just because I'm able to say like, all right, cool. Through this person to that person, I can technically get in front of that, you know, those eyeballs, and try to like show off what I'm capable of doing. And I feel like it's just very important. We talk about it all the time. Like, you know, sometimes jobs come up and you don't want to do them, or they're shitty or whatever. Like, say I don't shoot weddings right now, but what happens if someone asks me to shoot a wedding and I'm like, nah, but if I looked into it a little bit more, I'm like, oh wait, the fucking bride's dad is the producer for blah, blah, blah. And I have no other way of getting a hold of this guy than going and flexing my ass off for the bride's wedding. This is such a random example.
No,
but like,
it's worth it.
You go there, you crush, you make everyone happy. And in the fucking through line of it, it's like you can build they're going to see this, or they're going to see the end product, and you could pop up and say, hey, that was awesome. By the way, can I give you my dad, my acting reel or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? But like, that's how people hustle. Like, they really figure out ways to do that shit. You see it all the time. And obviously there's like, it's like a really annoying, like I watch Entourage and shit, and you see it where people will like finesse ways to like get into meetings, and then get like back in the day it would be like giving the acting, like for real, giving acting reels, and like they would slide it in or whatever, and someone's just like, yo, what the fuck, like I'm not looking for this shit. But if you do it in a smooth way and you set yourself up, it's possible. But it's just I guess it goes back to just there's always a way to get to that thing, whatever that thing is that you want. There's so many connections that you can find that'll attach you to that. You just have to figure out how to navigate through it.
That's like the key. I feel like that's the key of this whole conversation, is that mentality that you talked about. And this is the important, like, and we wrote a morning roast on this go listen to it if you haven't. It's called Relationships Over Connections, right? And that whole thing was about, everyone wants to be like, oh, how do I get connected? How do I get connections? How do I get connected? Blah, 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 blah. Like, how do I get a network? All this different stuff. And people, that's the wrong way to look at it.
Right.
And Robin Harper talks about it in his episodes, because someone asked him, like, how do you make power connections? And he's like, I think thinking of it like as making power connections is going about it all the wrong way.
Right.
And I agree. And it's like, the way this works is not like just trying to talk to someone on some LA shit just because they know someone and they can do something for you, or just like trying to scheme your way because you know that this could do something for you. It's about building real relationships where the person wants to see you win, and you've given them something, you've provided them value, you've worked your ass off, you've given them a product that they organically now have included you in their network, and will offer you things and will provide things for you. And I think when you go about it in that way, like, so even for the wedding example, right? You're not going to accept the job and just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to try any way to talk to this dad. You're like, by going to this job and providing the best product possible and being professional and working my ass off, that is going to do the talking. And I guarantee if you did that, the wedding person, or let's say the producer, he would probably walk up to you and be like, man, like, I really appreciate your work. Like, what do you do? Oh, I do this. Well, I actually am a producer on this. Like, would love to see if we can work you in, whatever.
Right.
And that work like that versus you walking up and being like, here's my card. Like, that could work too. But I feel like when you think about it in that way, where if this 6 degrees of separation is a thing, it's like, value the relationships of the work, right? Like, if you're gonna do a job, maybe you don't like it, but you value the person who gave you the job. If you make good on them, what that can provide for you, and that's the 6 degrees of separation. Well, that person can loop you in and recommend you to this person. Well, now all of a sudden you're working for this, and then when you look back, you're like, damn, how did you end up working with Beyonce? It's because relationships that you had that ended up down the road turning around and offering you an opportunity because they saw something in you and you had a relationship with them. Not because you walked up to them and you're like, oh, you do this, like, put my name out there, you know?
And speaking of the wedding scenario, an actual real life thing that happened to me that is funny, and I'll tell you guys this because it's private, it's Patreon, is I had done Q's whole tour, right? Did the whole tour, whatever, built the relationships. But the only person I never actually connected with was Top, who owns the label. Anytime he'd ever come in the room, I saw everyone else be like, yo, what's up, Top, blah, 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 you know, trying to show face or whatever. But I was always documenting, so I was always filming those interactions. I was never trying to, like, put the camera down and go talk to him and try to, like, make him know. I'm like, whatever, he'll see the work. So I know for sure he saw the shit. Everyone they all love that shit, right? But I never met him. I never talked to him. Like, it would just be like head nods or whatever. And then going forward, I knew I wanted to build a relationship with him, or I wanted to get in the position to build a relationship with him to, like, farther create better, bigger, and better projects. Like, he's the guy. Like, you want to know that guy. And nothing would ever lead to it, but eventually his daughter had a baby, or was going to have twins. And she loved the shit I did for Q on tour and literally requested me to come shoot her baby shower. Which I'm like, right away, I'm like, nah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell fucking no. What, baby shower? What the fuck? But then I'm like, yo, you know what? It's dope that she really, like, she genuinely appreciated my shit. I know a lot of people are always hitting me up, like, come shoot this and that. But, like, that's cool that Top's daughter, out of all the creators that she's ever seen or whatever, really like my shit. And I was like, yo, if I do this, I know I'll always have in the back pocket that if I ever want to play that card and be like, yo, I need a meeting with Top. Like, I know there's other ways to get it, but I could hit up Kiki and be like, yo, remember that time that I did that thing for you?
Yeah.
Set it up.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Set me up for this shit. And
there'd probably be no problem because
it would be no problem.
You did right by her.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it. So, and him, like, so even, it's not like a weird, oh wait, here we go. Watch. If Andrew says anything fucked up on the podcast, I'm sorry. Hold on. Andrew, you're on the podcast, so don't say anything fucked up. Hello?
Yo,
you're on the podcast right now, but will you please explain the 6 degrees of separation
to Kevin Bacon.
To Kevin Bacon.
Well, the 6 degrees of separation is a theory that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this might be trash. What?
So the 6 degrees of separation says that any two people on Earth are 6 or fewer acquaintances apart, like linked from each other. So the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is based on the same concept, but if you are in the entertainment industry in Hollywood. So it's saying that anybody in the entertainment industry is 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon somehow. And it's true. Try it. It's a really fun drinking game, actually.
I already talked about a way that I'm connected to Kevin Bacon, actually.
Exactly.
It's tight. All right, cool. I just need you to explain that real quick. I'll hit you later.
Cool. See ya.
But that's Andrew Sandler, everybody. He directed Chris Brown's
he actually
documentary.
explained it very eloquently.
He did.
I'm proud.
It's because I think it's like a card game at this point. Like,
Right.
it's like fucking Cards Against Humanity or whatever.
Right. Let's sit down and let's all figure out who we're connected to right now.
Well, specifically Kevin Bacon. Who do you know that knows Kevin Bacon? I don't know what the fuck I was saying.
Whoever can say it the fastest, like everyone else is chugging their entire beer.
What the fuck was I saying? Anyway, the idea of that is that I knew by doing that solid for her, I could still use that today. You know what I mean? I don't need to. There's no real reason to right now. But I'm just saying, if I did have something that I needed to sit down with that person specifically, that was my 𝐅𝐀𝐕𝐎𝐑𝐈𝐓𝐄 to it. I had already toured. I've been shooting I directed big campaigns with EA Sports. Why the fuck am I shooting a baby shower? But I'm not too good for none of that shit. It's just that in the scenario of like where I came from, that was the only way I could make money back in the day. Like those were the only things I could actually be creative at, was like weddings, baby showers, senior pictures, all that shit. That's like the typical thing you do in the Midwest. And then I outgrew that and came here and started working in the industry of music and doing all this dope shit. And then it's like, hey, you want to go back and do some of the shit you used to do? Not really. But then I'm like, all right, cool. A, shout out to the homie for her requesting me. B, I found the second plug. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I think I want to touch on this because let's do something different than weddings. I already talked about in music, like managers and management companies and labels. Just through that, you can connect it to anyone. Like if you make a relationship with an agent or a manager, like they either manage another artist or they're friends with the manager who manages another artist, and you can get connected anyway. Yeah. But even like with music videos, like Andrew's told this before, like he's gotten to a video he really wanted by taking a video he wasn't really that interested in, but by killing that video commissioner was like, yo, I want to put you on this project. And that's that separation that puts you on elevates you even faster.
Right.
Another thing I want to talk about was, you touched on that, and I think it's important to also say this, like you've always been careful. You don't use favors or those like, I did good by you, like help me out here, just anytime. Like you have to know, pick and choose your chance. Like if you want to talk to Top, you want to make sure that whenever you hit up his daughter to get that meeting, that it's for the thing.
It's the one.
One, and not just. And if it's anything else, then you're wasting your time because these people are important, and you have to like save that bullet like in your chamber, almost like some House of Cards shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I honestly don't know any time I've like not burnt a bridge, but used a bridge that I've been saving. Like everything I do has been mad strategic. You know what I mean? Like I'll go all the way out for every single person that I think can help me, even if there's no real shot of them helping me, with the idea of like, whatever, I'm gonna go all the way out for them on this one, and if it comes back to me, it comes back to me. If not, it is what it is. I know I could come back and be like, hey, remember that time I went all the way out for you? But that's not my style of anything. It's just, this is like, if it comes down to it, if I was like in the fucking corner and I needed this, this, I have it. You know what I mean? But and at the same time, the amount of times I go out for people, everyone knows that shit. Like if I ever asked a favor, like people do it because they know I feel like it's straight up karma though. I definitely fuck with like the idea of like the energy you put out comes back always, and like that's it too. Like you're not gonna ask for the favor, but like you may not be able to connect the dots immediately, but like what you do for that person through some other shit could provide something later on down the road that you could never be able to say, oh, this is gonna cause that. Right. But like doing that constantly is just continually putting out things that can come back to you. Yep. So if you guys feel like you have some sort of connection to Kevin Bacon, please leave it in the comments and let us know how you are tied to the boy. I fucking like Kevin Bacon, man. You know?
This episode's sponsored by Kevin Bacon.
Thanks, Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon, he has that one commercial that's really funny. Remember, it's like the Vizio TV or something. He's like, Anyway, so yeah, always keep that in mind when you guys are thinking about jobs, when you're thinking about making connections, when you're talking about just even meeting people. You never know. Like, I also love it when you come into the room and someone who has been doing some dope shit for a long time thinks like they know they're dope and they act like they're dope, and they fucking poise any opportunity to like build a relationship with someone right away because they come in swinging their dick too hard or whatever, and they think that they're fucking dope as shit, and they're just like, yeah, I did this shit and I did all this, blah 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 blah, and then immediately you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, don't cool guy me. Like,
yeah. As soon as you cool guy someone or cool girl someone, you set yourself up for failure because you have no opportunities to learn about who that person is or what they're connected to, because the person that doesn't look like someone you've seen on Instagram before
Facts.
may have all the keys and you just don't fucking know.
I feel like that's a lot of, I definitely experienced that too. Like,
can you imagine people walk up to Lenny S and
right.
like just and
Thinking
be like,
he's
what's
some,
up,
like,
man? I'm a director. Like, or Lenny says, what's up? And he's just like, yeah, it's cool. And turns around, you don't realize that's Lenny S.
Right.
If you don't know who Lenny S, look him up. Like,
facts. That's all I wanted to say, basically.
You know what I
mean? Like, a lot of the times, especially in entertainment, like the people that are the most chilling, that just chilling over there, like you don't even pay them any mind, and then you leave the room and you're like, dude, that was fucking
right.
Lenny S. That was Mike Carson. That was this. You know what they've done, and you just like didn't even know that.
Right.
But that's why you have to like respect everyone. I feel like.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's fucking super key because you really just don't know. I love that shit. I don't know how many times people walk. As soon as you get cool guyed, you're just like, dog.
No, you get marked off after that.
Yeah, fuck you. Or you know what I mean? Like, people do that shit all the time. I love that.
Dude, I'll tell us. This is actually funny, bro. I went to a concert, Pink Sweat's concert, here in LA. This is a funny story. And then so like my friends is friends with another. This is so funny, bro. There's the guy's name's David and his girlfriend's name's Courtney, and they both do video. And this guy shoots shit for Pink Sweats, right? And he's a little drunk after the concert. And my homie had talked to me about him and thought it was funny that my girlfriend's named Courtney and they're the same, and it's just funny.
Right.
And he goes up and he's like, yo, this is Dave that I told you about. And I hit him, I dap him, like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, heard you make some dope shit or whatever. Like, and he goes, yeah, like, or they're like, you guys are both, he has a girlfriend named Courtney too, and he's named Dave. And he's like, oh yeah, like, have you played guitars on a Pink Sweat song? And like, cool guy me like that, like some shit. And literally all of us are like, I literally like, my friends looked at me and like, should we flex for you right now? And I was like, nah, it's all good. Like, and I just thought that was so funny because he just fucking like before he even knew who I was or what I had done, he's trying to act like he's the shit because he played guitar on a Pink Sweat song and shoots a video for him.
Yo, I don't know who Pink Sweats is. I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck are you talking about? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, dude, that shit was funny to me. I'm like, because like if I'm trying to be macho, I'm like, yeah, but to me it's like, I just think that's funny because now it's like, fuck.
You should have been like, oh. Fuck, I thought you played bass, bro. I'm an A&R for Beyonce and we're trying to get a bass player for her next single. And I thought you were I'll talk to you later.
That's
just a guitar player? I'll talk to you later. I was looking for a fucking
I actually fucking hate that song. The guitars are trash with that song.
Yeah. I thought that was the most out of tune shit I ever heard. Fuck trash ass people.
That's so funny, bro.
So yeah, leave it on that. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Cool. This is good. Next morning roast, schedule, all that shit should be up on the Patreon page by now. Patreon.com/BlackWindowCream. In the About Me section, we keep posting the schedule as well as in the Discord. If you guys have any suggestions of things that we should be changing, doing differently on Patreon or Discord, let us know just so we know. But other than that, it seems to be fucking cooking along. We appreciate y'all. That's it.
Let's get to 100 so I can beat this motherfucker in a 100-meter dash.
It's over for you, bro. All right, bye.
We out.